So hello guys, welcome back to TechnoWebHack. This is Parikshit here, back again with the new video. And in the continuation of our web application vulnerability series, this is also going to be another video. So we know that what we have covered till now in our web application vulnerability series, we have covered SQL injection, we have covered XSS, also we have covered the XXE injection. All these were the types of the injection, and we have already covered what it is, how to find it, how you can exploit it, and what its types, and how you can then even remediate it, right? So we have seen all these things for all these vulnerabilities, and now is the time for, in this video we are going to learn about the CSRF. So this is also called as the XSRF, which is nothing but the cross-site request forgery. So this is what we are going to learn from this video, guys. We are going to also see how you can find this kind of vulnerability in the website and you can exploit it, right? And later in the next video we are definitely going to see how you can prevent or remediate this kind of vulnerabilities also. All right, so before moving to the video, if you're new to the video and if you have not subscribed to the channel, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon so that you will not miss the next videos that I'm going to upload, and hit the thumbs up if you like this video. Alright, so let's understand what is CSRF first of all. CSRF, that is stands for the cross-site request forgery. Okay, so this is the vulnerability that allows the attacker to induce the victim to click on some kind of link or perform any task that they do not intend to, right? So attacker will create some kind of link and then he will send it to a victim with the help of some social engineering. He will do some social engineering and he will send it to the victim, and he will induce the victim to click on this link, right? So if he is clicking on this link, so any kind of action could happen. Let's say suppose he is already logged into any kind of banking website. So what can happen is his all money could get transferred to the attacker's account as well. What can again happen is like attacker can change the password of his user account. He can also change the email address, or he can delete it, or he can do pretty much anything that he wants. So these are the things that can happen with the CSRF. This is the very major impactful vulnerability that is there. Alright, now let's understand what are the conditions that are required for the CSRF attack, right? Or let's say how we can check whether the CSRF attack can happen here or not. So let's say suppose there is an application that allow the user to change the email address, right? So there will be the input field where we'll be changing our or updating our email address, and we will be clicking on the submit button. This will like create a request. It will go to the web server, and this request will contain some kind of parameter that will contain your email address along with some other details, and this will go to the web server and it will change your email address and it will store it there, right? This is what the thing that will happen inside there. But this is where now we have to check whether the CSRF token is there or not, right? The CSRF token is tied to the user session or not, and at the first place the CSRF token is used in this request or not. So these are all the things that we have to check in this request, and we can also check for the same site attribute value, which is either set to lax, strict, or none. So if it is set to none, it means that cookie will be transferred, so you would be able to, or attacker would be able to perform any kind of action because he will be getting the cookie, right? So these are all conditions that should met this requirement. All right, and all these conditions should met it, and if it is meeting this requirement and if all these conditions are in place, it means we can now go ahead and we can perform the CSRF attack, right? So these are all the things that we can check in the request and then in the cookie as well, right? So these are all the things that we have to check, guys. So this is what now we are going to definitely see into our labs. We are going to perform some kind of lab. So we'll be creating this kind of link by using some HTML code that we will be checking it over there. We'll see whether all these conditions are in place or not, and then we'll create this link and then we will like send it to victim, or we will just execute this kind of link in a different tab, right? And we'll see if the intended action is happening or not, right? So this is the thing. If the intended action is happening, means if let's say we are changing email address or changing the password and it is getting changed it means that the CSRF attack happened there, right? So this is exactly now we're going to do. We're going to learn how to find it and how to exploit this kind of vulnerability. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and jump into our practical session. Alright guys, so for this practical video, like we want to check the CSRF, right? So we are going to make a use of BWAP, and till now, like we have been using the ports figure lab, right? But we are going to do some different this time. We want to check the vulnerability on some different site, so just or with the different ways, let's say. So for this tutorial, like we are going to make a use of BWAP, which is the buggy web application. And if you are not sure about this web application, or if you are new to it, you can check out my previous videos where I have already told you about how to install the buggy web app and how you can configure it in your browser, and how you can then integrate it with your burp suite, right? So by default, the username here is already given b and a bug. So I will just log in here, and we have a CSRF lab over here. So this is where we are going to make a use of some CSRF lab. We will just try to perform it here, right? So we'll check where is the CSRF, and I think CSRF, yeah, here it is. So change password, this is what we are going to check first, and let's see, hack it. So I have already configured the burp suite, and we can see that we have just logged in, and everything was captured here. So login and everything, we started getting the request already. So this is it, this is the request that we have for the CSRF1.php, and now we are going to perform some action here. Now we are going to, like, let's say we are going to check or test your new password, right? So we'll just provide any password here, right? Let's say like test and test, and now I will change it so that we should be able to see the request in a burp suite, right? So this is the request, and we can see, I will just show you, I will just send it to repeater, and here you can see clearly that for this request, this is what I have like told you guys before also, right? What we have to see here, so that the conditions should met for the CSRF, we have to check whether CSRF token is there or not, whether it is implemented in this request or not, right? So you can see clearly the password and password confirmation is what we have provided, like a test, and we don't see any kind of CSRF protection over here, right? We are not able to see any kind of CSRF protection, even it is not tied to user session, nothing is happening here. So we can now perform CSRF, is what we can assume here, right? So as I told you guys, what you can do it and how you can take advantage of it is like you can just create a small HTML code along with this parameter, and make a small script that will auto submit that particular request, and the intended action will happen, right? So that link, whatever that you will create, you will send to your victim by some social engineering trick that you can, and you can just ask the user to execute it, or ask the victim to execute it, or the click on the link, and the intended action, that whatever you want, that will happen, right? So this is what now we are going to do. So first of all, to do it, what you can do is, like, let's say if this is the page, right? So you want to make sure what are these parameter, how you can create that particular HTML page, so that when user will visit it, or when he will click on the link, the automatically this field and this retype field will be like you will be supplied something in here, right? And automatically the change button also will trigger. So if you just simply, if the victim is simply clicking on the link, all the thing will happen, and you will be able to see the password has been changed, right? So user or the victim will be able to see the password has been changed message, right? So that's when we can assume that the action is performed, or the CSRF happened here. So to do that, first of all, you have to know what parameters are these, and how you can then create a particular HTML code with that. So that's pretty much simple. You can simply click on like you can let's say, like, if this is the victim, so what you can do is, like, you can log in with your own credential, and you can visit this kind of page over here. You can then right click, and you can click on the view page source, and you can just slide down here, scroll down, and you can then visit this one. right? So this is exactly you have to do, right? So just copy that, because this is where you can see that this is the action, and at this page the action is happening. This is the URL, right? And what you have to do is copy that, right? Copy this form, and you have to open a notepad, and in here you can check this is the URL, but this is not the complete URL, right? So you have to type the complete URL over here, right? http://127.0.0.1/bweb csrf1.php. So you can see this is the one. This is exactly the one you have to, all right, give it over here. This is done, and everything we have taken from here. Now this you can remove it. We don't need the P or the paragraph side, right? So just remove this part, and we don't need it. We are simply creating a normal thing. So we just want the input to be submitted, which is hidden, right? So here also you can say like input type is submit, name is action, input type is hidden, sorry. So this is hidden, everything is hidden, sorry, everything is hidden. So we want everything to be hidden. We don't want to we don't want the victim to be able to see anything on his page. So everything is hidden, ID is there, name is there, action, everything. And yes, we want to remove this, and now we want to update the particular value here. So you can see this is the parameter and ID what is being used for this particular request. We have identified it, we got it. Now is the time to feed the value here for this particular parameter. So value should be the password, whatever you want to provide. Let's say for this now I will just provide it as a test2, right? And I will also close this, right? So that's all. And similarly for this confirmation also we have to provide the value test2, and we have to close the input. And next thing, this is also input, so we have to close this also. And that's all. We simply need to close the request now. So we want to send this request now. So to do that, again you have to do is like input type equal to submit, and this should be submit, and we want to submit this request. So equal to value should be submit request. That's all. All right, done, everything is done. And this is close of this particular input tag. And next thing you have to do is close the form, which we have already done. And yes, this is the HTML code. So before this I have to type HTML, and next thing is a body. You can type anything if you want in body or in under the HTML, but I don't want to do that. Yeah, form is closed. And next thing is you have to close the body first. All right, body is closed, and next thing is HTML you have to close. All right guys, so that's all. The script is ready, your HTML page is ready. But what will happen guys, this all the parameter value will be provided in your request on in your HTML page, and even you have a button here. But what will happen is that page, like if you simply click on the link and the intended action is performing, that will not happen because the script is not auto submitting. So to do that, you can simply create a normal script here, which is nothing but like your script. And under the script you want to do is document dot form, and we want to do is submit document or form. And then you have to type like this way. So form 0, which is this one, and dot submit. So we are submitting, or this form will be auto submit. And now I am just closing this script tag. All right, everything is done. I am just saving it with change password. All right, change password, and .html, right? Because I want the I want to create a web page, a link, right? So save it. That's all, everything is done. Save it, and now I will just close it. So I have the file here ready. Now what will happen is, like, I am clicking on it, I am double clicking on it, or I am sending it to any kind of any victim who is like already logged into that particular web application, and when he clicks on this link or he click on the web page, so what will happen? Let's see it. Let's open it once with Notepad. So what should happen is the password should be fed with the test2, and it should submit it automatically, right? So test2, because right now what is the password, so we have to check it. I will just log out first of all. I will just check, because test is the one that we have seen, right? So we can see test and we logged in successfully. But now, as per our script, our password should be changed to test2. Let's do that. I will just simply execute it. I will just open it with the Firefox, and okay, we want to submit a request. I want the request to be submitted automatically, so this is not happening. Let's see if something is wrong with our script. Alright guys, after inspecting it properly, I understood that this is a spelling mistake here. It should be document.forms, not form. And now I think everything should be fine. Let's now execute it. So open it with Firefox. Oh wow, that's great. So you can see, we can see that the password has been changed, and now the password should be test2. So let's log out it and log in once again, and it should not work with the test, which was the previous password. Yeah, it is not working. You can see invalid credential, and it is now test2 login. It is working. So it is working with the test2, means the password is changed, and the attacker was successfully able to change the password of a victim. So this is what we can do with the CSRF. Alright, so without making any further delay, let's move to another lab, how you can take advantage of it. So this would be similar, but let's see how you can do it. Alright, so this is alright, where is it? This is it, change secret, and let's hack it. So this is also same thing and similar thing, which is looks like. So after looking at this page, you can clearly see that there is only one parameter, and this is the button, right? That's all. So if you, let's see, like, we click on the web page source, and you can just scroll down, you can see this is your input type, which we can make it hidden, and this is secret. I think that's all. This is hidden. This is, we will keep it as it is, and this is the input type, which is hidden, action name, and change, and then we want to submit, and this is where we want to give the secret. So name is secret, but value is something we want to update here, and the value is the one which we want to update in that parameter. So let's copy it now from here, right? So this is the only thing that we want to take it from here, and I will use the same like request over here. So we want to move it or replace it with this one, replace it, and everything is ready, like method equal to post, and the form action. So we want to update the URL, which would be http:// and this one. So we want to update it here, and that's all. So you can remove this paragraph, okay? We don't need it. And yes, input type is text, but we don't want it text, we want this to be hidden. This is exactly we want to do. ID is secret, name is this, and value is something we want to give now. All right, value, and value equals to let's say secret. I will say like a hello. This is our secret, and close this tag. I think everything is there. This is a hidden, and this is closed. I think a button type, instead of button type, I will type it as the input type. All right, input type, and this should be hidden. Okay, and this should be hidden with the name, action, values, change, and everything we want to remove. All right, and the last thing is we want to update the request, or we want to submit the request, right? So input type equal to submit, and we want to submit the request. So this is it. Value would be submit request. All right, submit request, and that's all. Close it. So form is closed, body, and yes, script is also closed, and body is closed, HTML tag is closed. I want to keep the name same, like a change password. I will just, for an example, I will just set it and I will save it. And what should happen next is like hello should be the one that you like. What happened is like, let's say I will just try to change the secret to test. I will change it. You can see the secret has been changed. So once the secret is changed, you should be able to see this message. So now let's try to execute it, right? So what will happen if the secret should be changed to hello? Let's see. All right, that's great. You can see we got this particular message, the secret has been changed, and it means that in the background the secret is changed and it is changed to hello. We can check it in your PHP my admin, but for this time we will not just go ahead and do it, but we can, you can, but just to verify it, you can go ahead and check into your PHP my admin and your database. So you should be able to see that the secret is changed. All right guys, so we will move to next. I will just show you like how you can take advantage of transfer amount thing, like how you can simply transfer the amount to any victim, to any attackers, like bank account number, just by replacing here any number, and you can then put amount over here, right? So let's say like I want to transfer one amount, and this is the account number that I have given here. So I'm transferring one amount, and you can see I have a 9990 as of now. But now when so you can see the request also here. Let's see what is that request. So this is the amount request we got, right? And here also we do not see any kind of CSRA protection, right? So the bank account amount is getting transferred to a different account number, or if it is getting transferred to any account number, there is no CSRA protection. And even when the CSRA token is available, we have to make sure this particular token is tied to this particular session ID or not, right? So this all thing we have to like bypass it and check it regularly. So this is the thing. Now we can take advantage of it, and we can just try to change any account number, change the ID here, and you can simply transfer it. How? You can simply create that particular HTML page, right? You can simply now right click on it, check for the view page source, and you can check for the parameters that are being used here. So you can see here like this is the one. We will just copy it. We have our regular page here, so I will just put it in here, right? And this is it. I think I want to just copy this particular thing as well, right? I want to just update it here. That's all. This is it. Form action is happening on this particular URL. Method will be get, which is already here, and even we can check and verify it from here as well. This is the get method. All right, and we don't want to keep this paragraph. We want to remove it, and we want to close our tag over here. And yes, this ID input type should be hidden, right? This is exactly what we want to do. ID is there, name is there, all these parameters are over. Now value should be the something. I will keep it like 222 2222, and I will keep it like a 22. So that's all. I think I will remove this part as well, and will remove P and value. So how much amount we want to transfer? Now let's say like before we check the amount is like 999 euro, right? Now I will add another 1000 euro, right? So we will see the next value then. So this is another thing, and I will say it as the input type, okay, and this should be hidden. All right, this should be hidden. Name is action, value is transfer, and that's all. I will just close it. And yes, as always, we have to close the request, submit the request, and our form is closed. Alright, form is closed and a script we have created already, and this is already submitting the form, auto submitting it, and we have closed the script, closed the body tag, closed the HTML tag. That's all, everything is ready. I will just save the file, and what should happen now is once I execute or once I click on this particular web page, amount will transfer to this bank account and this will be the number. So we will see the updated figure later. So let's go ahead and do it. All right, and okay, I think you can see this is right now it is showing -1 or €1, and for this amount, right, because it was €999 first of all. Before it was €999, and now when we have transferred the amount of €1,000, so once like from 999, the €1,000, if you can like minus it, you can take it from there and you can try, you are transferring it to someone, so it will be -1, right? So let's try to do one more experiment. Like I will try to do is minus like €4 I will try to transfer, right? So I will just edit it with notepad, and you can see €4 I will do it. 4, I will save it, close it, and I will now execute it with Firefox. And now what will happen is you can see there would be now it was a -1, right? So now it should be -5. So let's go ahead and execute it. Yes, you can see it is a -5. So the amount from this particular account is getting transferred to 2222 account, where once the amount is getting transferred from this account, the amount is showing as a minus over here, right? So this is what it proves that your amount is getting transferred to someone else. So this is what happening here. So this is how you can even take advantage of like this kind of thing as well. Like let's say if suppose there is a bank website and they are not maintaining a CSRA protection for their particular web application, and you can just make sure all the conditions are in place, right? So then still you can make a use of this kind of things, and you can try to do a CSRF attack, right? So this is a pretty dangerous thing that you can do with a web application, right? So this is it, guys. We have covered almost all labs which are there here for the CSRF. Okay, there are only 3 labs, and you can check for other labs as well if you want to practice this kind of lab. So you can check for the ports with a lab. There you will find a couple of labs where you can go ahead and you can practice this kind of attack. All right, so let's move further, and I will show you like how you can then exploit this CSRF attack with different methods. So the first thing we have already seen, right, like password change kind of thing, right? Okay, there is a CSRF POC generator, which is a good thing that like this will automate your things. You don't need to like create the thing that we have created, right? So what we have created is like this kind of thing right here. This is what we have typed, and we have created a simple thing. But even for creating this script, we did not need to like look for anywhere here and there. So we just need to right click on this, and we got the parameters what we want to do, and we have just updated the value, or we have just changed the value, and then we have submitted the request, right? But if you want to check the whole thing and you don't want to type, and you don't want to do anything else, so you can do one thing, guys. You can like go to this bug, and if this is the request, right, so you can right click on it. You can do is engagement tool, and then you can click on this generate CSRA POC. So this will give you the code, right? This is exactly we have created here, right? And this is nothing but the CSRA POC generator. It will automatically create it for you, and it will give it to you. So you don't need to type it, and you don't need to look for any kind of code in the source code as well. So you will directly get it here. And as you don't see this document or form and submit, which it is not auto submitting, so you can click on option, and you can click auto submit script include, and now you can click on regenerate. So what it will do is it will regenerate this script with the auto submit. So you can now see the auto submit part is added, right? Before it was not there. and now it is added. So that's all. This is the only difference it made, and everything else is pretty much similar. So you can see input type and name and value you can then edit it anything here, and you can then like copy this particular to the HTML, and you can put it paste here also. So everything will be copied here, right? So this is it. But it is really important, guys, to understand and to know what is happening, what is the code, what it is doing behind, and you should definitely know the manual way to write this code and manual way to understand it, right, instead of going directly with like automated tools and all. So this is it. Let's move to our slide. So the next thing is changing the method, right? So we have seen a couple of methods here, right? Like what happened, like we want to change a password. So for changing a password, what is the method that is used? Get method. And again, for transferring the amount, what is the method that is used? Get method, right? And we have a couple of other methods that are used for different purposes. So if let's say this is the get method that is there. So if get method is not working, you can try to check and change the method here to post, and you can then try to submit the request, and sometimes that works, right? And sometimes if usually what happens is server is not configured to perform this sensitive action with the get method. Usually it is happening with the post method only. But in case if the server is configured to do or perform the sensitive task with the get method, you can then go ahead and you can like change the method from get or post to get here, right? Get to post or post to get, and then you can try to submit the request, right? So then you can see that you might get a result, and server might accept that, right? So this kind of thing can happen, right? So this is the way that, again, another thing that you can do. Another thing that again you can do is, suppose if the application is maintaining the CSRF token, so you can completely, like, let's say, remove the entire CSRF token itself from the request. So here what will happen is, like, there will be cookie, there is this session ID will be there, and somewhere here you would be able to see the CSRF token, CSRF equal to, and some ID will be there. So what you do is, like, you remove the entire value itself along with the parameter. So you remove that CSRF token and CSRF value itself, and then you send the request, and you would see that the request is getting accepted, right? But as of now we don't have it here, but you would able to see this kind of things in like when you're performing some Portugal lab, you would be able to see it there, right? So this is another bypass thing that I'm telling to you guys, okay? Like, even if the CSRF protection is there, you can bypass it like this way, okay? So you can remove the entire CSRF token itself from there. All right, and next thing is CSRF token will be compared from the global pool for authentication. So here what you can do as an attacker, you can log in with your own credential, okay, and then collect your own CSRF token which you got from the server, okay? And now once you come back here, as you will not have the CSRF token of a victim, right? Because you are logged in as now as attacker, and you are trying to perform a malicious action. So what you can do is, as you don't have the CSRF token of attacker, you log in with your own, you collect your own CSRF token, you get it there, and you just paste it here. All right, you just put it here, and then you submit the request. All right, so sometime what happen is, like, if server is like, what he will do is, like, he will compare your CSRF token with the global pool. He will not check for the exact CSRF token which came by the user or not, right? So user, like, the session token is not tied to the user, right? So, or the CSRF token is not tied to the user session. So in that case, like, this particular the server will check the token from the global pool. And what will happen is, like, so you are already logged in and you have the CSRF token, so it will simply take your token, it will check and compare with the global pool, and then that's all. It will authenticate you. So this is the thing that again it can happen. Alright, so this is another way that you can bypass it. Okay, again you can check, like for some application they will not validate the referrer header as well. So what you can do is, like, you can completely remove and delete the referrer header entirely from the request, and then you just send the request here, and then you can check. Like, so here you can see, here the referrer header is there. So referrer header is telling that where exactly the action is happening. So sometimes the application does not validate it, right? So if it is not happening properly, so you can simply remove it and you can send it, so you can still get result, right? And if you're getting it, it means that the CSRF is happening, right? These are some ways like you can make a use of, and you can like bypass the preventions which are implemented there, right? So this is it, guys. I think we have pretty much covered almost all labs in the CSRF. I have also told you about how you can bypass even if the security measures are implemented there, even if the CSRF token is implemented, how you can bypass with the various ways. All right, so I hope you understood this. I hope you understood clearly like what is CSRF, how to find it, how to attack the web application for the CSRF, okay, and how you can bypass the various ways as well. So this is it, guys. I will meet you in the next video, and where we will be learning about some prevention for this kind of attacks, right? We will see what you can do to prevent this kind of attack in your web application, which will prevent your web application from happening this kind of CSRF attack. Alright, guys, so if this video was helpful for you and if you understood the concept, please make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you will not miss the next videos that I'm going to upload. Alright, and if you like this video, so please make sure to hit the like button as well. Alright, guys, so thanks for watching. I will meet you in the next video. Till then, have a great day and bye bye.